There we go. Welcome. Thank you for coming. We have an excellent lineup for you tonight. You get lots of laughs. We would love it if you guys would keep your mics open. If you got chit chat going on or things in the background, please turn them off during that point. When things quiet down, please turn them back on. We want to hear you laugh. If you want your video on, we'd love to see your smiling faces too, but we understand some people don't like that. That's fine too, but your mic would definitely be helpful. As comedians, that feedback is really important to us, both to know what's working and what isn't, and just for personal satisfaction. So please feel free to laugh. This is a free event, but with the pandemic, these comedians, some of them do this as a form of income, have not been able to. So if you like what happens tonight, please feel free to donate. I will put it in the chat, but we've got two ways to donate. PayPal.me/BD Comedy. Or on Cash App, you can do $button down comedy. I'll put that in the chat right now. Let me type. There we go. Okay. Alrighty. I'm not sure how many of you have really seen much with comics. Well, apparently they didn't. But comedy is basically filled with ball jokes, racial insensitivity, family dysfunction, what he did when he drank too much, smoked weed, or took this drug. Well, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, a full head of hair, and I'm white. So what the heck do I have to complain about? Now, when I say I'm white, if the lights went out right now, they put me by the door so you could find your way out. If I walked up to somebody and did the fist bump with the explosion, at that moment, it would not be cool. It would not. I was, however, a successful rapper. Yeah, they were lining up to see me. Of course, that involved the table at the mall around Christmas time. Mm-hmm. I did get the opportunity to see a rap video being made. A friend of mine was a promoter. We arrived around 2 a.m., this empty warehouse. I was dressed, like I am now, dress shirt, dress pants. I know it's Zoom, I do actually have pants on. And the artist walks right up to my promoter and says, "Hey, who's the narc?" How bad of a narc would I have to be to come dressed like this? I tell you, I am getting older, and I can tell I'm getting older by my mail. AARP is sending me crap, and I'm not talking your normal junk. I'm talking full color brochure like Cialis ads. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much. And the hearing aid companies send me stuff, so I can't hear and I can't get it up. Then you have senior living, so I'm feeble too. Most recently, the crematorium. Guys, I'm not old enough that I need to wear Depends. I'm just fucking lazy.
That was good.
I tell you, forgot to start the live feed. I just remembered. We'll worry about that later. Okay. The thing is that things have changed so much over time. I mean, when I was younger, I could hear the internet. And porn has changed so much. When I was young, it took hours to download porn. And trust me, it was never worth the wait. Now you've got instant streaming. You've got categories. You've got a fucking recommendation list for your porn. But someone sits down at your computer, you get that tightness in the pit of your stomach, that fear. It's not that they're going to see your porn history. They're going to fuck up your recommendation list. Santa porn? Who the hell's watching Santa porn on my computer? But it is nice. Technology has advanced. We've got Siri and Alexa and Google Voice. So I'm no longer the only one with a disembodied voice telling me things to do. What's that? Yes, I think that joke should have gotten a bigger laugh too. I don't think we need to kill them. What? Hang on, let me ask this. Does anybody have an axe I can borrow? A machete will work too. But I tell you, as you get older, the eyes start to go. But you know, the way our bodies start to go too, probably a good Mac. We don't want to see that shit. We definitely don't want to see that shit.
That's for sure.
All right.
Now, how many people like having music on during sex? Round of applause if you like music playing during sex. Maybe, you know, a little smooth jazz, some blues. You need to choose carefully. I put some hip hop on, some Pitbull came on, I blew out my knee. How many people are familiar with the rule of three? The three of something is more satisfying, more desirable. I have been trying to convince my girlfriend of that fact. Has not worked. And during the quarantine, of course, we have more time with our significant others. So, of course, that means more sex. So that means we need to spice things up a little bit. So you try something new. It's like, ooh, that's new. Ooh, I like that. Hey, wait a minute. Where did you learn that? And you always have to have the safe words so that you know when to pull back. My girlfriend has the best phrase. It's, hey, can we talk? I don't think she understands how a dictionary works, though, because fine does not mean what she thinks it means.
No.
And she's really bad with the pronouns. The other day she said, I need to clean out my closet. Rude. You know, she meant, you need to clean out my closet. And why is it that women seem to have the most serious questions right in the middle of the most intimate moments? In this way, no, it can't. And the difference between children and girlfriends are when you threaten to spank children, they stop. My girlfriend keeps saying she can't read my mind. Thank God. If she could read my mind, I would have to duck constantly. Told me to get my mind out of the gutter. It's a package deal, baby. It's all down there. And the worst thing that your significant other can say is nothing. I'm not talking about the silent treatment. I'm talking about the word nothing. Honey, what's wrong? Nothing. Now, end on this. My girlfriend said, never change. But then she complains about the smell.
No.
All righty, let's get on to our comics. Our first comic hails from Chicago. She is disabled and she is a non-binary. She enjoys the darker side of humor. So let's give this up for Katie Zane. And just say, Katie, let me get you on there. There you go.
Thanks so much, Geo. Yeah, you brought up sex music, and like I lost my virginity to cartoons, and so I've never been very picky about the music situation. Set a precedence. So at the beginning of the pandemic, I started smoking cigarettes because I'm stupid. I didn't think this was going to last that long. And I'm the type of person who thinks that like they can't get addicted and that they can just stop whenever they want, you know? And the thing is, like, I'm realizing that a lot of white people are like this about their racism. you know? Like they think they could just stop whenever they want. Like they're on some sort of racism clock. They're like, oh, I've got a few more racisms to do. And then tomorrow I'll be a better person. I will be an anti-racist. There's no work or steps involved at all. And I think that about smoking cigarettes. But speaking of racism, my grandfather was pretty racist back in the day, like a lot of people's grandfathers were. And the thing is, though, when he got older, he became like a better person, an anti-racist, more woke, as it were. I don't love that word, but as a, best word to describe it, he just became a better person through lived experiences, living around immigrants. And the thing is, this is the same guy who smoked a cigarette while having a heart attack.
Oh.
And so the thing is if that guy can get better, I have hope for the world. I just have so much hope because of that. This pandemic, I gotta say, my absolute favorite thing about it is that no one asks me if I'm pregnant anymore.
Yeah.
Like something you don't really think about. The thing is, through Zoom, you can't really tell, but I'm a fat person. I carry most of my weight in my lower belly. So I've always looked like I'm expecting or neglecting a child somewhere.
Oh.
Like in the before times, I would be out like having a great time, and somebody would inevitably always look at me like there was a kid somewhere else having a very bad time. And the thing is, like, I'm not even sure what about me reads as like neglectful parent, but I just have had a lot of really awkward conversations, and I do not miss those at all. Honestly, like the pandemic, I don't know how it's going for everybody else, but there is some things I've learned about myself. I think we've all learned some things. Most importantly, I have learned that you cannot watch Grey's Anatomy 3 times through. Like, you can't do it. I did it twice. That's a lot of Grey's Anatomy. Cannot do it a third time. Cannot. Just a little pro tip. If you're gonna do that Grey's Anatomy, do it slow. Will run out and you will not enjoy watching it again. Honestly, being in this pandemic situation does seriously make me miss being in a mental hospital. Like, and a lot of people are like, what do you mean? Well, I'm like, in a mental hospital, it's a lot like being in quarantine. Like, you can't go anywhere. You can't hug anyone, except for when you're in a mental hospital, there are snacks twice a day, including the best snack of them all, chocolate pudding. And a lot of people hear this part of this and they're like, what? And I'm like, no, chocolate pudding is the best thing in the world. Like, if I dropped a big crate of pudding on your doorstep right now, you would be delighted. It would make your life right now to have a whole case of pudding. It would make everybody happy. The other thing that happens when you're in a mental hospital is that if you're just sitting around, you kind of look uncomfortable. Somebody might ask you if you would like a Xanax or a Klonopin. Right. And I feel like that's another service seriously lacking in the pandemic, is just someone like going like door to door being like, excuse me, would you like a benzodiazepine? Oh, you don't know what that is? It's fine. You're going to feel great. Just A or B, And I just feel like that's something that we all need right now. Speaking of, okay, so I mentioned being in the mental hospital, which I have done twice. Yay me. I haven't been on a lot of trips, but I've done that twice. But I suffer from borderline anxiety and good old depression, and one of the treatments for that is something called exposure therapy. And if you're not familiar, it's basically when you tell your therapist how uncomfortable you would like to be, and then they do that for you. Ooh. And then there is a valued activity at the end, like you get to take a walk, listen to a song, read a book, whatever. But it's really just medically sanctioned BDSM. Like, you have made your therapist your mistress. You've said exactly how much pain you would like. And there's a valued activity at the end. You get to come. Who doesn't like that? Also, as a person who has dabbled in both BDSM and proper therapy, BDSM is cheaper. If it's hard times, if you need some help, maybe, go that way if you need it. I don't know if anyone here has ever heard, this is an old joke, this old street joke, that glitter is the herpes of the craft world. Right?
Yes.
It gets everywhere, you know, it's sort of for life to a point with glitter. And the thing is, like, I have a problem with this mostly because it's a bad joke, but also because, like, I do have herpes and vastly prefer it to glitter. Like, just vastly prefer for a couple different reasons. The first being that I do not have body glitter confidence. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the type of person that can just be like, swish, swish, I'm a mermaid. You know, that's not really part of my branding. The other thing is that sometimes when two teenagers, they have sex, they don't use a condom, they're not smart about it, they make a baby. And I am pretty psyched to have herpes and not a 17-year-old right now. Pretty happy about that. Herpes is much cheaper. I'm always here just in my sets trying to tell people how to save money. You know, get an STD, much cheaper than a baby. You know, do BDSM, cheaper than therapy. I'm just here to save people money. I'm like a coupon book, but secretly a comedian, you know? So I do have I have 11 diseases. I'm only going to talk about a couple of them because this is not a TED talk. But one of the ones that I am going to tell you about is I do have multiple sclerosis, sometimes shortened to MS, and it's cool. It's an autoimmune disease, which means my body does attack itself, but it does mean that I'm self-deprecating by factory setting. So I've got that going for me. Also, I found out in a recent scan that almost all my scars from my MS are in the frontal lobe of my brain, which is where your personality comes from. And the thing is, all this means is that it's amazing that I'm a person every day, because it turns out I'm having the world's slowest lobotomy. You know, that's what they should call it. It should be like MS slow lobotomy, you know, like underscore in italics. You know, that's really what's happening to you. It does cause like a lot of issues in my body. One of the issues it does cause, or it used to, was I used to pee my pants. I would cough really hard, laugh really hard, pee my pants, you know, and then my body heard the jokes and then doubled down on its bad behavior. Because now when I laugh or cough really hard, I just come. And I don't mean that I have an orgasm, because some people get excited, like, oh, that sounds great. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's just a mess. It's just ejaculate in my underwear, like a wet bathing suit, you know? And the thing is, with Zoom, you knew it was protecting you from COVID, but you did not know when you logged in that it would be protecting you from wherever I have been sitting today. Protecting you from COVID and cum. Zoom comedy. The thing is, like, I'm 36 years old and I never thought I'd be like trying to figure out like which Depends I should buy that like make my partner still want to fuck me. You know, I'm like, what are the sexy Depends? You know, where do I buy those? I need better targeted advertising on Facebook. I need to talk about this out loud more often. Another issue it does cause in my body, and this is going to be the last thing I tell you guys about, is that there's no real delicate way to put it. I just have a broken asshole. Like, it's like a bag of bread that you lost the twist tie for, you know, and you're like trying to like, you know, fold it under, and it's just not doing anything, and that bread's not staying in there. Well, that's my asshole, just not doing its job every day. And the thing is, like, I found out at the beginning of the pandemic that this issue does apparently mean that my farts sound like duck quacks. And apparently it's not just one kind of duck. It's like all the ducks. It's like sad duck, alarm duck, happy duck. It's just like all the ducks. Basically, I've got like the ultimate survival skill right now. I just have to get gassed up, go to a park, you know, bag a bunch of ducks, sell them by the side of the road. I don't know. It's weird times. I don't know what's going to happen. But mostly in my spare time, I have just been trying to find someone who will just like blow in it like a Nintendo cartridge to see if that will fix the problem with my asshole. Because if you know anybody, it's a weird kink looking for, but if you know anybody, hit me up in the chat. I have been Katie Zane. Thank you so much for having me, Geo. Woo.
Sorry, couldn't even spotlight myself till I turned my video back on. And I disappeared again and again. That's why sometimes hosting and doing the background behind the scenes work is not the best combination. But let's give it up for Katie Zane, please. That's Katie. Yeah, I understand that farts sound like a duck. I've got a similar problem when I get congested, like that whistling in the nose. It sounds like a flock of ducks. Well, our next comic is James Mack, who performs all over New York City, was recently an industry pick for the Jersey City Comedy Festival. So let's put our hands together for James Mack. Okay, I don't see James.
Where's James?
No, we lost James.
James!
So I get to stretch a little bit here. Well, if James comes back in, we'll definitely have him come back on. I have had some issues with my sinuses of late, and it hit me. Where's all this stuff kept in the body? Because my body isn't big enough for the stuff that's come out of it. And when I'm congested, when you blow your nose, is your eye supposed to whistle?
Yes.
Oh, here we go. James is back. Okay, let's try this again. Everybody, please put your hands together for James Mack.
Yay. Yay. Awesome. How y'all doing tonight?
Good.
Oh my God. Awesome. So I live up in New York City, and the great thing about it is when people hear me talk, this is not the accent they thought they would hear. Yeah, I'm originally from Texas, y'all. So the first thing that I have to let people know is that I'm not racist anymore. So yeah. Now, not only am I from the South, y'all, but so are my parents. My mom's from Arkansas and my dad's from Louisiana. So that means that I was conceived during a NASCAR race and delivered by Jeff Foxworthy. Now, being from the South, especially with everything that's going on right now, I've had to have some pretty heart-to-heart conversations with some of my cousins back home, mainly about the Confederate flag. And last week, I was talking to one of my cousins, Dave, but I promised my aunt I wouldn't use his real name, so we'll call him Dale. And I was like, Dale, I was like, you can't keep supporting the Confederate flag, man. You can't keep supporting losers like that. And he's like, but your parents still support you. And I was like, oh, okay. But he tried to use every excuse that you always hear that's connected to the Confederate flag. And he started out with, don't worry about it, man. The South's going to rise again. Like, we'll get them next year. And I was like, dude, you're not the Cleveland Browns. You don't get to keep losing year after year after year. Yeah. Although I was thinking about it while I was talking to him, and it'd been really awesome if instead of a civil war, we would have had a civil Super Bowl. Yeah, mainly because if you didn't know, in the Super Bowl, the losing teams' hats, shirts, and jerseys go to underdeveloped areas. So you could have some kid running around on National Geographic wearing a Lee's #1 shirt, and, in some place like, I don't know, like Nigeria, Argentina, or like, I don't know, North Dakota. Yeah. But then, the next thing that he tried to hit me with was that he's like, James, he's like, the flag's about heritage, man. It's not about hatred. And I was like, and you're full of shit too. I was like, because if you look like a terrorist, people are going to treat you like one. I mean, think about it. If you see somebody walking down the street wearing sheets and a hood, you think they're in the Klan. If you see a group of guys over by a little league field, you know they're priests. And if you see a pothead in a corner crying with a little green sash by him, you know it's Girl Scout cookie time. Now, like most Southerners, when I told my mom I was moving to New York City, she got super worried. She was like, oh my God, James, something horrible is going to happen to you. You're going to get mugged or raped or even worse, lose your accent. Yeah. Now, y'all, I grew up in an Irish Catholic family. There's 8 of us kids, and I have 24 nieces and nephews. Yeah. Mainly because my parents didn't teach me anything about contraception or hobbies. Yeah. Now, when I tell people I grew up in an Irish Catholic family, they think like 7 generations ago. No, y'all, my grandma came over from Northern Ireland, and we grew up listening to Irish folk music. And I try to convince people that Irish folk music is just rap for poor white people. That's all it is. I mean, take the song, Whiskey in the Jar, which a lot of people heard from Metallica, although don't play that song ever again. Lars Ulrich can kiss my ass. I hate him. But that's beside the point. If you go and listen to the actual words of the song, it's about a guy talking about going and robbing another dude, and that guy goes home, tells his girlfriend while he's asleep, she hides his guns, and then calls the guy he robbed to come get the money back. Now, tell me that don't sound like a Tupac song. There we go. There's a delay, so I have to wait.
I'm a little slow.
It's okay. I can draw pictures for you. I can get the poster. But no, and there's tons of examples of that. I mean, if you take like the song "Irish Eyes Are Smiling," if you want a modern version of it, and it's just Ice Cube's. It's just Ice Cube's "Today Was a Good Day." Bone Thugs and Harmony's "Crossroad" is just Danny Boy. And I'll prove to you that y'all can't tell the difference in these, because, all right, so there's a song about a guy who goes and decks out his car and is singing about everything that happened to it and everything he did with it. So clap if you think that that's a rap song, and you can just use the little hands for the emoji. All right, cool. Now clap if you think that's an Irish folk song.
Oh, I heard this.
Yeah. It's neither one, y'all. It's the wheels on the bus go round and round. So there you go.
I didn't know there was going to be a test.
And y'all just proved my point, because y'all couldn't tell the difference either. So now, one of the things that I cannot stand is stereotypes. And I hear a lot of them up here. And one of the ones that really gets on my nerves is they go, "Oh, like white people don't like spicy food." Have y'all heard this?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to hear it a lot, but
I
it's
have.
bullshit.
Yes, I've heard it.
I come from East Texas, y'all, and we're like Cajuns on horseback. So we put hot sauce on everything we eat. It makes taking a girl home that first night a lot more fun. You can't say she didn't feel anything that time. It's all right.
Right.
Yeah, if the person next to you didn't get that joke, it's okay. It's a slow burn. Now I am single, but I know that doesn't surprise any of y'all, because you see me and you're like, "Oh, James, you have a beard and a big beer gut. We thought you were a masculine lesbian." It's okay. But this morning I was behind a vehicle and it had the little family stickers on it, the dog, the cat, and the wife. But where the husband was, there was a big red X. And I thought, if I get up next to this lady, I gotta tell her there's easier ways to let people know you're single. Like standing on a stage and going, "Hey, I'm a stand-up comic." Yeah. Now, the last girl that I dated was kind of weird, but I'm not talking about the kind of weird where like roll over, bite the pillow, and the safe word's orange. Not like that. No. But why I say she's weird is because every 28 days she would bring home a fifth of whiskey, and I'm like, "Honey, what are we celebrating?" She's like, "Hey, it's not a Father's Day." So, which the only reason I say that's weird is because she had an IUD, and for some of you that don't know, that's birth control. And the great thing about it is I'm a veteran, y'all, and IUD is close to IED, except this time it was a safe explosion. So Now, of course, if this was in real life, I would be wearing one of those little white cotton face masks. And ladies with this beard, I now understand why y'all get waxed. Trust me. Although I kind of wish y'all would stop getting Brazilians, because y'all complain a lot about how guys can't find this body part or this body part. Well, guess what? There's a reason why in the military they paint a circle around the target. It makes it easier to find.
Oh.
And guys, you're not off the hook on this either. You need to find the clitoris. It's behind the right knee. Come on, read a book. But I was thinking the other day about the first time I ever heard about the clit, and I was about 8 years old, and my older brother and his football buddies were talking about it, except for they called it a clitoris, and so I always thought it was a dinosaur. Like that one right there. And gotta use your background, guys. So, now, like I said, I am a veteran, and if you ask my mom, I do have PTSD, and if you ask my mom what that stands for, it stands for being pretty, tempting, sexy, and debonair.
Mhm.
Yes.
Thank you.
Work it.
I know, right? For 25 cents, you can sponsor a veteran. And now, ladies, the other thing I want to let y'all know is that if a guy ever tells you he's a veteran, it's usually for one of two reasons. Either he's trying to get laid or he's trying to get a free drink. So when I post my Instagram earlier, send me a picture of what you want me to put my mouth on. Now I have tried losing weight, and at the beginning of the year I did, but I found out y'all judge people in jogging pants, ladies and guys alike. You know, if you have somebody who's in good shape, you know, like our boy Roy here, who's in a full jogging suit, you know, you see him and you're like, oh, that dude just got through working out. Good job. And then you see my fat ass and you're like, oh, that guy just got through working on a pizza. You know, it's just not fair, y'all.
Oh my God.
And but I really did put a lot of effort into it, and I went to the doctor and was like, Doc, what do I got to do? He's like, we're going to give you a Fitbit, goes on your right wrist, measures the motion of your wrist. It'll tell us how much you worked out. And I was like, okay, cool. And the only thing I learned the first couple of weeks is that I drank for 3 miles a day. But I stuck with it. After a month, I go back to the doctor and I hand him my phone so he can look at the app, and he's looking at it and he's like, wow, James, we're so proud of you. You're up to like a half marathon every other day. And I didn't have the heart to tell him that I took it off my wrist, put it on my dog's tail, and started feeding her treat. The other thing that I get a lot is when people find out I'm a veteran, they're like, James, I thought you had to be in shape to be a veteran. Well, round up shape, so fuck you.
No.
I really am a veteran, y'all. I did 15 years as a paratrooper in the Army. So, yay. Thank you. It's nice to know brainwashing still works. 10 years of that was spent deployed. So if you ever see me face to face, please no quick movements and we'll all be all right. Now, sometimes people will say, hey, James, thanks for your service. And tonight I want to say thank y'all, because for 15 years you paid for my housing and food, for my alcoholism, and for the shittiest vacation ever. So, yeah, most companies send you to places like Lake Tahoe and Disneyland. I got Iraq and Afghanistan. And if you don't know where those places are, it's because you went to public school. But not all deployments are bad. My first deployment, I was 17 years old, and I got to go to Brazil. And in my mind, that meant hot girls in bikinis and playing soccer on the beach. Nope. Instead, I got the Amazon rainforest in the middle of the summer and spiders the size of coffee cups, y'all. And I'm pretty sure some of them were racist, but I don't understand Portuguese. Now, after you deploy enough, eventually you got to go see the psychiatrist. And I was taken to see mine the first time. Yes, that is the correct word for that. And it was for PTSD, y'all. And when I got there, they asked me, they were like, James, do you know what PTSD stands for? I was like, well, if you ask the cop that brought me in, it stands for put the shotgun down.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, which I was brought in on a bullshit charge to begin with. They brought me in for hunting in public. And the only reason I say it's bullshit is because the only way I could have been hunting anything is if a duck flew under my chin. So,
Oh.
yeah, I was just trying to do my Kurt Cobain impression, y'all. I didn't understand it. So for those that may have forgotten, Kurt Cobain blew the top off of 90s rock. So yeah. Now, the next thing that the doc asked me, she was like, James, do you know the difference between being sad or depressed? Because that's what most veterans have to deal with. And I was like, Doc, I guess the only difference is the color of the bathwater when the paramedics show up. Come on, y'all. These suicide jokes usually kill. There we go. Now, the next thing the doc asked me about was my sex life. And I know none of y'all want to imagine me naked, but I'm body positive. It's okay. But I thought I'd have some fun with the psychiatrist. So I told her I like to choke myself while I masturbate, because I'm white. And she's like, but James, aren't you worried that one of the times while you're doing that, you may accidentally kill yourself? And I was like, Doc, if I do, it's just another notch on my belt. Now, I know suicide's not usually anything to joke around about. So if you have anybody who's going through some serious stuff, please give them a hand, because then it's homicide. So now, if you didn't know, 1-800-SUICIDE is the suicide prevention hotline. But I always wondered, why do we have to call it a suicide prevention hotline? Like, is there a suicide assistance hotline? Like, if you call up, they're like, oh, thank God you called us. You were going to do what? You were going to take pills? You pussy. Check this out. We got a box on its way. That's right. You were correct to be paranoid. We already have your address. And we have a box on its way that's going to contain 3 important things: gun-flavored mouthwash, an assortment of ropes, and our newest book on how to tie the perfect noose by Anthony Bourdain. Oh, like you knew the motherfucker. Shut up. And, but 1-800-SUICIDE could be hard to remember, y'all. I mean, gun to my head, I couldn't think of it half the time. So I thought of some easier ones for us to use, like 1-800-I-KILL-ME, or 1-800-YOU-SUCK, or 1-800-WET-TOASTER. Yeah. Now, I know what you're thinking, like, James, isn't wet toaster kind of long? Well, the extension cord wasn't, so it's fine. Now, the other thing that sometimes people ask me about is they're like, James, do you ever have flashbacks being a combat vet? And yeah, sometimes I do, but don't worry about it. I'm on all the medication your tax dollars pay for. There you go. And some people want to know about flashbacks, and the easiest way I try to explain is it's kind of like reliving your worst moments in life over and over again. Kind of like when the Philadelphia Eagles think about signing Carson Wentz. There you go. But I always wonder, why can't we have a good flashback, like the first time your dad took you to a ball game, or your first kiss, or the first time you got a finger in the butt? It could all be the same day. Some people's parents are a little bit more giving than others. But most people remember their first kiss. Like, I remember mine. Like, I was all excited, and she was really firm, and I'm not allowed in that cemetery again. Now, we're going to have one more audience participation part. Does anybody here believe in reincarnation? You could, like, put the little smiley face or your hand clap or whatever.
Wait, let's see. How do you
All right.
reactions?
Okay, or you could just talk. That's fine. That works. Yay! Thanks, Kim, and thanks, Roy. So y'all can come back. The rest of you can fuck off. It's fun. No, the reason I ask about it, and I'll get a little bit serious for a moment, is on my last tour in Iraq, I was almost blown up 3 separate times by suicide bombers. I have the nice scars. For $20. I'll give you my OnlyFans account, and you can see them. But since I've moved up to New York, I do drive around for shows, and I've almost hit 3 separate deer. Now you may be asking, James, what does a deer and a suicide bomber have in common? And it's not the color of their skin. I know what Roy's thinking. It's fine. But it's because they both explode when they hit your windshield. Y'all don't really like the dark stuff. I got it. Y'all were like, it was so much funnier when you were just talking about being fat and single. Now, one of the things that I've learned since I've gotten out is I thought people would be afraid of me. I have the beard and my tattoos. I have 13 tattoos, y'all. But since I've moved to New York City, people just think I'm the best resource for almond milk.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, like I said, I do have 13 tattoos, and some people are like, oh, James, do you have 13 because there were 13 states in the Confederacy? And no, there were only 11. So, but people always want to know about your tattoos. And I'll tell you a little bit about mine. So I have my entire back piece done. So that way, if I ever go to prison, I get the top bunk. I have my Freemason tattoo there. So that way people know I believe in conspiracy theories. And I have my family crest on my right calf. So that way people know that we own the trailer park that I grew up in. So, all right, y'all. If you want to follow me, you can go look me up at James Mack Comedy. Thank you so much for having me. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Hey, let's give it up for James Mack.
Yay.
So, James, in Brazil, do they still call it a Brazilian?
No, they just call it a local.
All right. Again, remember these comics, have been trying to make a living doing comedy, and with the pandemic, that has been very, very difficult for them to do. So please, if you enjoyed the show and you can send a few dollars their way, please send it to paypal.me/BD Comedy or Cash App at $button-down comedy. If you enjoyed it, also please spread the word, tell your friends. We have these every 2 weeks on Fridays. If you go on Facebook, you can like Button Down Comedy, and you can basically see all the upcoming shows. All right, our headliner tonight is April Walterscheid. The next comic is, without a doubt, the next comic. She's a vegan. Here's your headliner, April Walterscheid. Walterscheid, sorry.
Hi. Yay. I'm so happy to be here. Yeah, give it up for the previous comics. If you're there, start clapping for all the previous comics. We are definitely writing jokes and thinking about jokes all the time. And definitely, we've probably been doing this for years. So definitely send money to the PayPal that he said just before me. So how are we doing? Can I'm looking at all your backgrounds. A lot of you just have pictures of yourselves or just music. Was that music going on? I love everyone here. I was looking at all your names. You guys have such beautiful names. Love it. We have audience attendee here, AA. So it's like Alcoholics Anonymous. They're trying to be anonymous. Or like, I'm just an audience attendee. So that's cool. I love the environment. So I don't know where some of you are, but I am from Arizona. So I live in Los Angeles now, and I live in a Jewish neighborhood. I'm not Jewish, but I am German, just not the cool kind. That's always an awkward joke. Like, I'm not even cool. I'm just white and vegan. I have to throw vegan in there just so people can kind of be like, oh, she's white, but she's vegan. She's different. Yeah. Also, she's a woman, but she's not a black woman, but she's like a white woman. Last year I made it. Okay, so 2019, I did a photo shoot back in my hometown of Phoenix. And for the photo shoot, last minute, bought a red jacket, a red high school jacket from obviously a dead person, because why would you put a high school jacket for somebody at a thrift store? I always assume they're dead or something, because like if I ever found like a shirt that said Mildred's 100th birthday, I would buy that shirt just to scare her family. Mildred's probably dead. But like, I want to be walking down the street and like Mildred's family is like, oh my gosh, that girl bought her shirt. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't give up on her like you did. Okay, that's a tangent. Basically during COVID-19, I wanted to mention this at the very beginning. I basically would try to go to the store, and I would try to go to the store, and there was absolutely zero foods there. By that I mean, oh shoot. By that I mean all of the food for myself was gone. Guys, can I have one moment? I'm so sorry. Hold on. Sorry.
Do 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 do. Put your answer in for Final Jeopardy.
All right, we're gonna go back to the suicide jokes now. No.
What's the Venmo or PayPal again?
The PayPal is paypal.me/BD comedy.
Okay, cool.
And we also have Cash App, which is $ button down comedy.
Cool, thank you.
Okay. Well, I don't think April's going to be coming back. Let's see what we got to do here. Hang on a second.
Yeah, I hope she's okay.
Okay, she is coming back.
Hey,
There
I am
she is.
so sorry. I apologize. I just had a panic attack during my set. That never happens. And I gotta be honest, I don't know who does who does weed around here, and I say does, which is wrong, smokes weed. I did take a hit right before the set, and it just hit at that moment and gave me anxiety. So that's the secret of comics. We do smoke weed. I apologize you had to hear that. I am gonna get through this set though. I gotta tell you, I've never felt this way in a while. I'm a weed professional, but this one's a little different than I'm used to. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm just
got this. You got this.
I got this.
You got this.
I'm very embarrassed right now, so I just want to tell you what's up. I'm so sorry.
You know this will just be a bit later.
You guys did not pay to see this show, hopefully.
Yeah, I did. I gave money. What the hell are you talking about?
There were
Give us money back.
Well, they were going to.
You said it was $20, you know?
Give us $20 back.
We're just gonna I apologize for any donations. If you send $50, oh man, you're like, can I get that back now and use it for weed? Like, this is
What the hell?
But we know somebody who can sell us the weed.
yeah. Obviously everything in Los Angeles is legal, and this is a repercussion. This is why passing a weed law is not good. You get comedians who are like, oh, forgot my set, off my camera, even though my set is right in front of me. So we're just gonna go over some of my favorite jokes. I was gonna make this I have so many jokes, so let's do this. All right, punch it out. Okay, so I am April, named after March. I give off Miss Frizzle vibes, Miss Frizzle the Magic School Bus vibes. Anybody remember that show?
Oh, yeah.
There's people my age who are like, what was that? I'm like, it's a lady who imagined kids, because she was probably on drugs. Doesn't she look like she's on drugs? And she just memorized all their grades, and that's it. And then sometimes she shrunk down, possibly children she was hallucinating. She shrunk them down to go into people's butts. That's this whole show. And I always thought it'd be really cool if there was a kid, I think his name is Arnold on the show. He was the bully. it'd be fun to find out. This is like my murder documentary side of me because I'm a white lady, like I said, and I watch those. I didn't say that earlier, but I watch those, a lot of them. It'd be cool if there's a kid named Arnold. He has asthma, and they're like, all the kids shrink down because like maybe they want to check out his lungs, learn about how asthma works, and they all shrink down. And they bring cats with them. They're like, this will get Arnold. Yeah, let's bring asthma, like allergies on the bus, you know, and then Arnold's dead. They can't poop him out. His lungs get bigger. They can't even get out. Isn't that dark? I mean, Halloween is over, but that is a dark plot. That's like the season finale. That's like all the season's finale of Miss Frizzle. Just Arnold is passed away from asthma. Okay, so that was really dark. But here we go. Unless you guys are muted. No one's muted. All right. We're all muted. Half are muted. Oh, there we go. I love the fake laughs. Okay, so we have YouTube intros. Basically, YouTube is really positive, even in a pandemic. It's like all the YouTubers could be talking about the darkest stuff. Like, you know, Arnold dying of asthma. They're like, hey guys, today I'm going to tell you about the episode of Magic School Bus where Arnold got asthma because the kids were just trying to kill a bully. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, I'm so excited to be here. I'm going to work out with this guy I met off the street in LA. And we're going to show you a workout. Don't even know his name. I'm so excited to be here. Hey guys, I'm going to do a comedy set while high tonight. And I'm going to just tell you guys about it because I'm going to die alone ultimately. Yeah. Like the YouTube intros are so cool and dark. And I recently tried dating, which is obviously I shouldn't be dating, so I usually don't, but met a really cute guy in LA. We made out, did kind of some other stuff. And then he's like, as it was going really well, he's like, hey, I don't know if I told you this, but are you okay with being in a polyamorous relationship? And I'm like, what? I thought this was going somewhere. I let you get even near my puss. And I'm like, no, I just can't do that. I can barely handle myself. I can't like have you trying to do a super spreader of making out and like get your tongue in my mouth with your making out super spreader. That's not cool for COVID, you know? And then, so I started like studying polyamory though, and like kind of considering it. I don't know if anyone here is in multiple relationships with people or dogs or cats or whatever you're into. But,
no.
Yeah. I love cats too. But I started studying it, and I think a lot of polyamorous have to. He was always tired. Like when he saw me, he was drinking all these energy drinks, and I think polyamorous have like a day planner of like everyone they're with. They're like, oh, I can only see April on Thursdays, and my number one top girlfriend, my first top tiered girlfriend of this whole polyamorous pyramid. I only see her on like Saturdays, Sundays, because he was always exhausted. Basically, is what I'm saying. That's a fun joke. So, is this a Ronco crowd? What age demographic do we have? Do we have 30s? Can people yell out their random age?
36.
65.
He's in the dark.
56.
Okay.
18.
Great.
41.
Lie. You lie.
Liar.
Yeah.
Old folks.
This is a 2 alcoholic minimum drink show. So why are you here? But no, I'm glad you're here. Please donate to our PayPal. Yeah, so I thought this might be like a Ronco crowd. Do you guys remember the Ronco? Did you guys ever purchase it? I think my parents did. And they're hoarders, so they just purchase everything and put it in piles in the house. But they purchased one, and I think like the Ronco infomercial was like set it and forget it. And you just bought it in the 90s. And they said it and they really forgot it. Like it's still there. It's like collecting dust. My parents have so much dust in their place that basically you could sell the dust to Haunted Mansion in Disneyland or Disney World. My parents don't even realize it. They're all like trying to run their business, always making freaking money.
Sorry.
What did you say? Okay, this is not a Zoom meeting. I know, so no one's gonna say anything. All right. So I wanted to do this thing that's been helping me during quarantine. I'm gonna need it tonight. I've been meditating a lot, and basically, it has kind of been working. I've been listening to the Gilbert Gottfried meditation, and this is how it goes. Here we go. Close your eyes and bring yourself to a calm, quiet place in your mind. Just stay there, okay? You're gonna die in quarantine listening to a girl who's super high, trying to get this set. Like, why? This show's free, but why did I go to this show? Oh my God. I mean, I can donate, but I mean, I didn't even pay any money, but can I get free fries or something, some sort of compensation? Can I get a free month of Zoom or Netflix? Can I get at least Hulu with HBO Plus for free? Because the HBO Plus, you're already paying for like Hulu and all your streaming, but HBO is like, we know you're paying like 10 or 12 bucks for Hulu, but we're gonna charge you another $14.99 just to have us two bitches. Those HB bitches, I hate them. Okay. Anyways, this has been a fun meditation, and I hope you didn't get sand in your ass, because once you get into sand, it gets everywhere in your car, in your coochie, in your butt, in your teeth for weeks. It's like when you get into a car accident and you know, you're okay. Maybe you have some glass in your forehead, but a car rolled over you and they're not as okay. But, you know, someone ran a red light, pushed that car into your car and it rolled over your car. Just get like a shock and a lot of glass and your car's totaled and you get a new car. So it's great. And anyways, you find glass in your car for several weeks. And like, you know, like if that car's not totaled, you find glass in the car for weeks. After it's fixed, you find glass in your cardigan pocket. You find it in your hair for days. What I'm trying to say is the beach, it's happy, it's ocean, but the beach is made of glass. So it's a bunch of tiny, tiny microscopic accidents is what you're walking on. You find glass for days, you find sand for days on your body. Anyways, good night. This has been a great meditation. Show's not over, but that is like a meditation. That meditation has been keeping me up all night, all year actually. Gosh, like I need sleep obviously because I'm okay. But okay, I gotta say, quarantine has been cool. Look at guys, I'm so vegan that I found this random apple in my car that I left in there for days. That is embarrassing. Okay. Yeah, I turned 35 in quarantine, and basically I don't have boobs yet. I thought they'd be here by now. And I mean, this makes me funnier, I guess, but also like, am I gonna be anything when I'm older? I don't know. My brother and I do wet t-shirt contests, which is fun. He wins because he has broader shoulders. And I'm just like this box of unlucky charms, just flat. I wanted to show you guys my bra. It is this. It is also a charging cord. Yeah. I mean, I like that I can have my bra, and if I see a plug somewhere, I can kind of plug it in, like to charge my phone too. And I thought I feel some bolts going near my tatas, and I'm like, maybe I'll make them grow. You know, that'd be cool if it worked like that. Let's see. I do a lot of the stuff. The meditating. So I do the 3 M's: meditation, manifestation, and murder documentaries. So I'm so addicted to all that stuff. I've been trying to manifest things since 2014. And I mean, it's not working tonight. Very good. But whoa, it's like I thought it was working because every few months I'd find like $1. And like it's working. I just might here if you guys want to know how to manifest $1 every like 12 months, here it is. You just go, I am rich, bitch. I am rich, bitch. I had a cool hat. Where'd it go? Anyways, I am rich, bitch. Hold on, let me get something. I am rich, bitch. I mean, I had this like hat that said
Karmic.
it said whatever it said. It said riding dirty or something. And I'm like, probably. I live in Los Angeles. It's very dirty here. Oh, so here's like a high joke. Here's a really good high joke. Basically, this is the start of a high joke. I did smoke weed the other day, like a week ago, and it was an indica. And I live obviously, okay, so my roommates were like, oh my God, she looks so angry. And I'm like, no, I'm just high. And they're kids. I live with kids. They don't know that. Okay, that was a throwaway joke. Here's a really good, okay, I'm not gonna rate this joke. I'll just see what you guys think. So basically, I got a call one time. I worked at PayPal, which I should obviously go back to doing if I can. And, I worked at PayPal and I'm on the phones like talking to 28,000 people a year. And I get this call from Phoenix Homicide that they left a voicemail. They're like, hey, this message is for April Walterscheid. This is Veronica from Phoenix Homicide. You know what this is about. Click. Like that's the end of it. I'm like, are you kidding? I'm like trying to take like when I worked at a call center, you're not supposed to be on your phone, but I was like on my I was like trying to take a call. I'm like, yeah, we'll waive your late fee, maybe. Hold on, what? Like I'm trying to do both. Like I had the little talkie thing, and then I'm like, listen to his voicemail. What? So I went on my break and I called Veronica from Phoenix Homicide, and she's like, hey. Well, actually, before I called her back, I was thinking about the voicemail. I really had so much anxiety about the voicemail. And I was like, all right, so what do I know? She says, I know what this is about. The night before, I was on a movie set in Phoenix, and there was a guy and I talking about homeless people and basically that they'll only take money. Like if you try to give them a toothbrush, if you try to give them something helpful, I don't know if this is a very 2020 joke anymore, but you try to give a homeless person something helpful because you think you're being the good white lady or something. The guy I was talking to on set, he's an extra like I am. And he's like, no, that does not, they don't take that. What you got to do is put it in a box. He's probably on drugs like I am. He probably was like me, but he's like, you got to put the toothbrush and the toothpaste in the box and wrap it up all nice with gift wrap. And make it look like here's a gift. And then I'm Santa Claus, I'm gone. Like you're trying to help him with toiletries instead of money, basically. And he's like, in fact, I have an extra one in my car. It was the end of the night. He's like, I got an extra one in my car. I'm like, okay, you got an extra, do you have drugs? Like, what do you have? Oh, you mean the toiletries. And he handed me the toiletries in this really cool striped box for Christmas because it's December. Yay. Like it is now. And then he just drove away. And it's midnight and I'm shaking the box. Doesn't sound like there's toothpaste or toothbrush in the box. Definitely sounds like there's tea, but a heavy tea, drugs, weed. And I'm like, oh my gosh. What if I get pulled over tonight and somebody finds this box, So I better just go put it in a street tree vase. Does everyone in their towns have trees that are on the side of a sidewalk in a downtown area, but they're in their own vase? Have you seen those? Does everyone know about those? One audience did not know, so I'm just making sure. They didn't know what a street vase was. Anyways, I put that in the vase and I'm like, okay, I'm free of it, whatever it was, I'm good. I'm not gonna get pulled over tonight. And then I got home safely. And basically what I thought was Veronica from Homicide in Phoenix was calling me up and saying I know what this is about because we found those drugs in that street tree vase. And we saw that somebody's dead, because basically we found your fingerprints on the drug they were using from the street vase. And that person just went on a murder spree. And we're like, who gave this person this very nicely wrapped box that was supposed to be full of toiletries? And like, dust from my fingerprints, all my fingerprints are on it. And I'm like, oh my God, I murdered somebody on it. Not even trying, you know? I was just like really, I'm just like, oh my God, do I call them? Like, I didn't mean to. Obviously, I said no to drugs, just like Dare taught me. I had the shirt, I graduated, I said no to drugs. If this is a drug, tonight I didn't. But like my whole life, up until last year when I first smoked weed ever, I'm like, I've been like clean, like just such a good straight A student. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna call Veronica on my lunch break and like see what this is about. So I'm like calling Veronica. I'm like, hi, this is April. You left a voicemail. And she's like, yes, this is Veronica from Homicide in Phoenix. You know what this is about? I'm like, what do I know? She's like, oh my gosh, we just want to interrogate you because a friend murdered some people. And I'm like, oh my God, that's it? My friend murdered people.
Oh, yeah.
So much relief. I was like,
Oh,
I felt like a new person. I'm like, oh, my friend, geez, I could see him doing that. He's just an acquaintance. I don't know him, you know. So that's the end of that. I love murder documentaries, and I'll tell you why. Basically, nothing ever happens in my life, and I love seeing it happen to other people. I love seeing a girl meet a guy at a bar. And they hit it off. They get an apartment together. They talk about having kids, and maybe they're together for like 3 years or something. You know, it could be a month, anywhere from like a week to 20 years. And just everything's going great. And then, you know, the guy meets a new girl that he wants to like get with instead of his wife. And he starts a relationship with her because the wife is just always busy doing Mary Kay or you know, Young Living Oils and stuff. And so I want to be treated like dirt. You know, he suspiciously puts me in an old blue truck that he suddenly has, and he drives me out to a desert or forest, and when I'm like, whoa, this is beautiful, I can see the stars, this is really nice. And then he suspiciously we pull off to the side of the road because I think we're gonna go like have a picnic, but he didn't bring a picnic. He brought a shovel and he brought like a shotgun, and it's like, oh, what's gonna happen? And then he shoots me and then digs my grave. Actually, it's already pre-dug. Like we go to a pre-dug grave area, and then he like hits me on the head or whatever, and I fall into the grave. He starts shoveling me and like burying me alive. I just really want a guy. Sorry, that's me. I really want a guy who puts in so much effort into paying that much attention to me, like a guy who's like really organized, and his place is suspiciously clean. He's got a lot of bleach, and I never noticed before. And maybe my family's like, hey, don't date that guy, he's bad for you, like don't do it. But I'm like, hey, mom and dad, you guys are hoarders, but this guy's organized, I really like that. I'm gonna go with this guy. And then I'm like, dad, I want that kind of attention, I never get it. Like, I mean, okay, so that's cool. Well, I'm gonna end on something. Let me see if I can end on. I'm gonna end on something. I don't have to. Oh, and let me do one more, and then I'll end on like maybe one that actually gets its first laugh tonight. I know. I hear the laughs, but are they real? No, I don't know. It's so scary. It's like when you're high, you're like, I'm not gonna get real laughs tonight. And they're like, oh, she doesn't know what she's saying. I don't know what I'm saying this whole set. Want to let you know that. But okay, so I've been so bored in quarantine that I've been watching Twilight. I watched all of Twilight, and I was like, I never get attention. Let me watch this movie and watch another girl get a lot of attention from everybody. I watched Twilight, and I'm really embarrassed to admit that because I'm a Harry Potter girl, but she hates everyone now. So I'm like, I guess I should go to Twilight or something. The author like kills Black people or something. I don't know. So accidentally in self-defense, I'm just kidding. That's not valid. So I mean, like alienate, like really, it's none of it's self. Okay, I won't go into it. Really into social issues, just so you know. I bought a Karen jacket by accident, but I am just like, I'm selling that Karen jacket to a black woman. I swear I will. There's one that wants to at a comedy show. So I was watching Amazon movies on Twilight movies on Amazon Prime, and I was craving a lot of cookies last week. So LA is really dangerous because all their cookie places are open till 1 a.m. and I'm vegan, by the way. I spend $600 at Whole Foods every month, and I can still afford rent. I don't know how. It's white magic, I guess. But yeah, like LA is dangerous because they have all these like cookies and like they're vegan and gluten free, and it's like shit. Yeah, LA is full of cookies. I know that sounded crazy. It sounds like the whole town is cookies, like it should be. I wish that'd be amazing. But I went to a cookie place. And when I get there, I'm like, I want 2 specific cookies. I'm like, I want chocolate chip that's vegan and a birthday cake that's vegan. And so like the cookie clerk at like 12:30 a.m. is like, cool, we got those cookies. But I'm going to throw an extra 10 in for you. I'm like, no, please don't. My thighs have grown like 3 inches. I do not need more of that. You know, like my thighs are, I'm vegan, but our thighs still look like they have too much meaty, what did I write here? This is a new one. All of them sound new tonight, and I'm so sorry. But I said all of my jokes wrong tonight. I said them all bad. Don't do what I'm doing. Don't do comedy or combine comedy with weed. Like, so yeah, like I have strangely uneven, meaty fat deposits on my thighs because I have a crook in my spine as well that I'm working on. So fat does not distribute evenly. Should have mentioned earlier that I gained 3 inches on my thigh. But anyways, the cookie clerk's like, can I throw in an extra? I'm gonna throw in an extra to 10. And then he like trailed off into the back room. I'm like, please don't. I'm already like gaining a lot of weight in quarantine. And I'm really not. Just the 3 inches on my thighs, I can easily work off because I'm vegan. But he brings out like 12 cookies, and I'm like, and my brain is like, oh my god, yum. And then my heart's like, April, give them to your roommates. Give them to your roommates. Like, save these for your roommates. But I did not. I basically took the 12 cookies into my. I went into Vons first, which is Safeway and other places, and I bought half a gallon of vegan ice cream. And I took the 12 cookies in my car, and I proceeded to eat all of them. And I was on a no sugar diet last month, and I was on a no sugar diet last month. I don't really need to be. I just want to see if I could do it. And I think that it caused me to go full vampire on the cookies in the parking lot. But like, so, and then it's like written out. Unlike vampires in Twilight who never go to sleep, I did fall asleep in a food coma shortly afterwards, also in my car, which is very LA thing to do. Okay. We've all done it. We've all just like, God, like my life is ending tonight. So I'm going to go back to that place and get 12 cookies and just punish myself for being high and feed my munchies. So I'll just end on this. My grandma died of cancer. She didn't die of COVID. She died of cancer. A few months back for this joke, but actually it was a few years ago, if you want to know the secrets of comedy. And she died of cancer. She had a 4-pack-a-day cigarette habit. And of course, if you have that cancer, probably, that's what I heard as a kid. I think I'm going to die of something similar. I have a 4-can-a-day LaCroix habit. So I think I'm going to die of natural flavors. And Flava Flav's going to be there.
Yeah, I get that thing.
Yeah, somebody knows Flava Flav. They're like, cool, that's awesome. So guys, I'll get out of here. I am fucking up my whole set. So apologize you had to sit through that shit.
Bravo.
I mean, everyone else was great. Just me, everyone, everything. So good night.
Let's give it up for April. Don't worry, April. I had a similar problem once. I had some edibles before a show. I'm not sure how strong they were. Does anybody know how much they put in edible underwear? But no, let's give it up for our comics by Katie Zane, James Mack, and April Walterscheid. Yeah. I said it right that time. We have these pretty much every 2 weeks. If you're on Facebook, please go to Button Down Comedy, join the group, and or like the page, and you will get updates as the new shows are put up. Comics, if you could hang out a bit, I want to get a shot of all 4 of us on the screen. Audience, thank you for coming again. And if you liked it and want to donate, please paypal.me/BD Comedy, or on Cash App, $Button Down Comedy.
Sweet.
Thanks again, everybody. Great audience, had lots of laughs. I loved it.
George.
Thank you, George.
All right. Let's see if we can get this.
Oh.
I like your pick, Vic. Oh, he's gone. Okay. And a couple people also leaving. April, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Go turn your video back on. Let's see if I can get right out of the picture here. There we go. Okay. Everybody say cheese. 1, 2, 3, cheese. All right. I got some screenshots there. All right. I will post this video tonight on YouTube. And if you want copies of it, you can download it from there. Or if you want just copies of your own set, let me know and I will section out your particular part. April, you did a good job recovering.
Oh man, I've never had that happen before. That's like really embarrassing.
Hey, it happens. Yeah, they say everyone's got to have a bad night once in a while. They learn from.
Yeah.
So, and basically, that's most of my nights. So you're good.
All right, y'all.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks so much, Geo, for having me.
All righty. Had a great time and look forward to seeing you guys again soon.
Yeah. Thank you.
Have a great night.
Later.